Hey there, thanks for checking out this edition of What's Happening at Effen Vineyards, where we make Effen good wine. Well, I'm filming this on the first day of May, but we're really covering what went on in the month of April, a beautiful month here in Escondido, and we've had a lot of activity. In fact, the plants are just going off. So last month we were filming the Sangiovese vines, and if you remember that segment, these plants were about 6 inches tall. And in about 30 days, they've grown to be about 4 feet tall, which is really crazy when you think about it. Sangiovese is the first plant to bud here in the vineyard. It's also the first plant that we'll harvest in September or early October. And Sangiovese, in case you didn't know, is Italy's #1 grown grape, and it makes some of the world's great wines. Here's a good example of some Cabernet that needs to be thinned out. What I want to do is I want to try to get like 2 spurs coming off of each of these, or I should say 2 shoots coming off each of these spur positions. So what I'm going to do is this little stuff that's just growing off to the side, I want to get rid of, and I want to also pull some of these leaves to kind of open up this canopy and expose these these are actually flowers right here, but they will turn into berries, and that'll be the fruit cluster for this coming season. And this is what the vine looks like after I've gone through and done some thinning. You can see that there's a lot more air that's going to be getting in here to the canopy, and also allow spray to get on top of these buds so that we can protect them from mildew. You know, it's not really difficult, but it really is kind of back-breaking work if you bend over for several hours at a time to help, thin out these vines. So one of the little tools that I have is my handy-dandy garden cart. Check this out. There you go. I got this at Harbor Freight for, I don't know, 69 bucks or some ridiculous amount of money. But at any rate, it's a little cart. It's got 4 wheels on it. It's got a little tray underneath there that I can throw, a bottle of water or something while I'm working on these vines. And I can just kind of scoot along here and take care of business. One thing I like to do in the month of April is put up some insect traps. These are government issue insect traps, and the yellow color attracts the bugs, and the actual paper has this really sticky substance on it. If a bug gets into that stuff, it ain't getting back out. But this is a good thing to do so that it allows us to monitor the populations of bugs that are visiting the vineyard on a regular basis. All right, well, it's time for the animal segment. I keep saying I should stop doing these and maybe just focus on wine and the vineyard, the vines and all that sort of thing. But there's every month something's going on with the animals on the property or in the vineyard, and some people actually like this stuff. So without any further ado, we'll get into it. A warning, if you are deathly afraid of snakes, you may want to tune out right now. Okay, so check this out. I just stumbled across this big ass adult gopher snake. We love gopher snakes, and this guy is a prime specimen. Check it out. See the lump right here in the middle of his body? That's probably a gopher or maybe a mouse or a rat that he ate, I would say maybe a few days ago. The lump just kind of moves down their body as it gets digested. Fascinating. All right, so I think he's had enough of us. He's crawling off underneath this avocado tree here and doing something really weird. It looks like a cobra kind of thing, sticking his head up like that in the air. I think that might be some sort of mating ritual. I mean, it is springtime after all. Okay, something to say about snakes. I know a lot of people are just terribly freaked out about snakes, and you shouldn't be. Snakes don't want to have anything to do with you. So if you have a snake on your property, please don't take its head off with a hoe. Now you might say, oh, but Mike, it's a rattlesnake and I have kids on the property. Okay, fine, that's cool, that's legit. You can call the people at rattlesnakerescue.org or get a hold of them on their website, and they will come out and remove the rattlesnake and repatriate it to nature where it will have a more comfortable living and get out of your hair. That's rattlesnakerescue.org. If you ever have a snake problem and you need some help, get a hold of those people. All right, enough of the soapbox. Well, so far so good during the month of April. Really happy with the way the vines are looking right now. They came out of their slumber and are growing really well. Look super healthy. We're staying on our spraying program. I use sulfur, which is an organic method to keep the powdery mildew at bay. With the overcast nights and stuff, it's a little bit more moist, and it could facilitate some mold or some fungus to get going in the vineyard. And you don't want to let it get started, because if it does, you'll be chasing it all season long, and it could ruin the crop at the end of the growing season. So I'm cautiously optimistic, but I'm not holding my breath. So that just about does it for the month of April. I do want to mention that coming up in a month from today, on June 1st, 2025, we will be pouring at the SDCVA, San Diego County Vintners Association Wine Festival at Bernardo Winery. There'll be about 30 different wineries, all local there, pouring their best stuff. And you can taste every single wine that's there for one low admission price. Such a deal. Just go to SDCVA Wine Festival, put that on your browser, and it should come up. And tickets, I believe, right now are on special. There's like an early bird pricing or something going on right now, so you can save a couple of bucks. That's SDCVA Wine Festival in your, Google or whatever, Bing. Does anybody use Bing anymore? Anyways, but just put that in your browser and it'll come up. Well, that just about does it for this edition of What's Happening at Effen Vineyards, where we make effing good wine. Thanks for checking it out. We'll catch you next time.